his lack of acceptance is something which will make us feel that no, he deserves this. He is going on saying that he's abused, he's abused, he's abused. He is not thinking why. Hello and welcome back to NibblePop. This is Monami Mukherjee and you are watching the series on William Shakespeare's play Twelfth Night. We are reading and analyzing the whole play line by line, explaining to you the different phrases which will be very handy if you are going to appear for any exams, be it reference to context or even long answers. If you are a regular viewer, you know that in my description box, I often give the links to articles, essays, answers on the topics on which I am making these videos. So, if you have any interest in taking any study materials from there, you can always go to the description box under any video to check if I have posted any article there or not. So, we have almost completed this whole play, and today we will be looking at the second scene of Act 4. This scene involves mostly the characters who belong to Olivia's household. So this is a very important part of the subplot. We will not come across the main characters here, but nonetheless this scene is extremely important if you are going to analyze Malvolio's role on character and how the subplot carries within it the theme of festivity and cruelty, the essential themes of Twelfth Night. So don't skip any part of this video because I'm going to look at this scene in a very minute way. As I told you, this scene takes place in Olivia's house. I would rather say a basement area in Olivia's house. Malvolio is locked down in a cell in a basement room, and Toby, Maria, they are going on playing pranks on him, treating him as a madman. And in this scene we will see how they are using Feste, the fool, to make things worse for Malvolio, and how Malvolio deals with the whole thing. Let's just look at the scene. We see Maria and Feste enter the stage. Maria has brought with her a costume of a priest, okay, and she is offering it to the clown or the fool. "Nay, I prithee, put on this gown and this beard." So she has brought this whole costume along with this false beard, and she wants Feste to wear them. Why? Because she wants Feste to look like a priest. "Make him believe thou art Sir Topas, the curate." So Topas is here the name of the priest, and Feste is going to impersonate this man. "Do it quickly, I'll call Sir Toby the whilst." So while Feste is wearing this dress, he is talking to himself. "Well, I'll put it on and I will dissemble myself in it." So the word dissemble, it means to act in a hypocritical manner. If you are not saying or showing what you really mean, that is dissembling. Okay, so it's kind of, lying to people, acting in a way which you are not supposed to act in. Alright, so Feste is saying that he is going to wear the gown of the priest and dissemble, which means he will cheat a person, pretend to be somebody which he is not. And then he says something very interesting. "And I would I were the first that ever dissembled in such a gown." Who wears the gown of a priest? A priest. He is saying that I am going to cheat another person wearing the gown of the priest. But the problem is, there are people who wear this gown and cheat people. So he is hitting hard at the community of the priests and supposedly holy men, all right, who dissemble all the time. I am not tall enough to become the function well. Why should a priest need to be tall? Because the height of the pulpit from where they give the sermon is a good height, and if you are not tall, then you will not be able to look beyond it. Okay, so that will not be very convenient, and therefore Feste, who is supposedly not probably a very tall person, he says that he is not going to be very convincing as a priest because he is not very tall, nor lean enough to be thought a good student. Now, in order to become a priest, you need to study the Bible and so many religious texts, and when you study so much, you become thin. So, Feste is not a very thin person also. So, he says that his physical appearance doesn't match that of a priest, and probably the gown which Maria had brought for him is longer than he would expect it to be, or that should fit him, and therefore he is saying this. But to be said, an honest man and a good housekeeper goes as fairly as to say a careful man and a great scholar. So it is okay, like if you are going to play the part, it doesn't matter what you look like so long as you play the part well. And then he sees that Toby and Maria, they have arrived. The competitors enter. Jove bless thee, master parson. So now that Feste is dressed as the priest, Toby is directly addressing him as master parson. Buenos dias. So fool is changing his voice and changing his accent and trying to speak as if he is a priest. So he is using these Latin expression which means good day. Buenos dias, Sir Toby. For as the old hermit of Prague that never saw pen and ink very wittily said to a niece of King Gorboduc, that is. So I, being master parson, am master parson. For what is that but that, and is but is? So the way he is talking, it's almost imitating the argumentative style, the way the priests actually establish an argument following certain kind of logic. He is trying to follow that pattern of speech. But if you closely look at what he's saying, you would see that he is not actually making much sense here. He's saying that according to a lady who was the niece of King Gorboduc, and she had said that is. So I am master parson because I am master parson. That doesn't make sense here. But he is not trying to make sense. He is trying to get inside the character of a priest. Toby wants him to go to Malvolio and says to him, Sir Topas. So Toby is addressing Feste as Sir Topas. What ho, I say, peace in this prison. So when a priest enters any house, priests are often called when people get sick, they feel that the house is haunted or somebody is dead. They come on different occasions, and whenever they enter any household, they often say things like, peace be in the house, and they enter. And now that Feste is going to meet Malvolio, who is kind of put in a prison, although it's not technically a prison, but he is imprisoned there, put in a cell. So he is saying that peace be in the prison. Toby is very impressed. He is impressed that Feste is following all the customs and all the attitudes. He's showing all the attitudes that a priest shows. And he says, the knave counterfeits well, a good knave. Oh, great, he's acting in a great way. Malvolio is speaking from within. So if you are staging Twelfth Night, then maybe you might plan to put a screen running through the middle part of the stage, where on one side you will place Malvolio, and that part of the stage will be very dark. He will be barely visible, and On the other side, where you can see people, you have Toby, you have Feste, you have Maria. So when this conversation takes place, whatever takes place after this, the conversation is between Malvolio and Feste. But Malvolio cannot see Feste because he can hardly see who is talking to him. And Feste has already started to talk like the priest. He has changed his voice, and therefore Malvolio cannot recognize Feste. Alright, so he wants to know who is there. Who calls there? Feste is answering. He is acting as Sir Topas here. Sir Topas the curate who comes to visit Malvolio the lunatic. So he is already marking Malvolio as the lunatic. Malvolio thinks that this person is really somebody called Sir Topas. Sir Topas, Sir Topas, good Sir Topas, go to my lady. Now he wants somebody to give information to Olivia about what is actually happening to him. So he thinks that there is no point in requesting Toby or Maria to go and seek help because they are the ones who have put him in this situation. Now this Topas guy, he is from outside this prank playing people or group. So he thinks that Topas might go and inform Olivia. She might rescue him from his problem. So he says, go to my lady. Look at the reply of Feste. Out, hyperbolical fiend! How vexest thou this man? Talkest thou nothing but of ladies? Now, Feste tries to speak in a way as if Malvolio is haunted by devil. And the devil is making Malvolio talk about ladies. So, he is generalizing the whole thing. He is not saying that which lady are you talking about. He is saying talking about ladies all the time. Then you must have a very pervert mind. And he wants the devil to be outside the system of Malvolio. Toby is very happy that this is the way he wants Malvolio to be harassed. And he says, well said, Master Parson. Sir Topas, never was man thus wronged. Good Sir Topas, do not think I am mad. They have laid me here in hideous darkness. So they have confined me, imprisoned me here in utter darkness. Fie, thou dishonest Satan. So now Feste is addressing the devil inside Malvolio directly. So he's saying, get away, you dishonest Satan, I call thee by the most modest terms, for I am one of those gentle ones that will use the devil himself with courtesy. Look, I know you are the devil inside Malvolio, but I am a gentle man, so I will not use any abusive language. I am asking you gently to simply go away. And then he asks a very curious question. Sayest thou that house is dark? Now, Malvolio's room is quite dark. Okay, so he is asking Malvolio that you are saying that they have put you in utter darkness. So you see no light around you? As hell, Sir Topas. Why? It hath bay windows transparent as barricadoes, and the clerestories towards south-north are as lustrous as ebony. Now, bay windows are windows not placed on normal eye level but up at the ceiling, and the clerestories are special windows which are often found in churches. These are also not on eye levels, so they help bring in the skylight, okay, but they are not actually illuminating the room in case of Malvolio. And look at the way he is comparing these things. He is saying that clerestories toward the south-north are as lustrous as ebony. Ebony is a very dark thing. So he is trying to say that windows are bringing light as dark as ebony. So he is basically saying that you have windows, although well they are not very well illuminating, but you have them. It's not utter darkness. And yet, complainest thou of obstruction? I'm not Mad Sir Topas, I say to you, this house is dark. Madman, thou errest. Err means make a mistake. So you are making a mistake here. I say, there is no darkness but ignorance. He is now using proverbs, in which thou art more puzzled than the Egyptians in their fog. Now, many of you know about this reference, don't you? If you know the story of Moses, if you have seen the 10 Commandments, that movie, I always recommend whenever you are getting enrolled in English honors, you must watch the 10 Commandments. Anyway, I cannot give you the whole story here, but it's like when Moses was negotiating with the Egyptian king about the freedom of his people, to get the freedom of his people, and the Egyptian king was fooling him. During that time, as a punishment, a fog was sent. It was very dark and very thick. So Egyptians were all very confused and they couldn't make any sense. They couldn't see beyond a certain point. That fog was so heavy. And this is the incident which Feste refers to. Why is he referring to this? Because he is acting as a priest, and a priest should talk about the Bible, should refer to the Bible now and then. And therefore, he is trying to be very convincing, and therefore he uses this expression. All right? I say this house is as dark as ignorance, though ignorance were as dark as hell. And I say, there was never man thus abused. I am so abused. I have been through this hell of mistreatment. I am no more mad than you are. So I am not a mad person. I am as sane as you are. Make the trial of it in any constant question. So why did you ask me a general question? And I can answer you to prove that I am not a mad person. Now remember that scene where Feste comes back to work after a long absence, and Olivia speaks to Feste, and while they are talking, Malvolio says, I marvel your ladyship takes delight in such a barren rascal. And then he also uses quite abusive language to talk in a very negative way about the fool, where he's saying that the senses, the sensibilities of a fool is not at all at par with his sensibilities. And here in this scene, it's like a poetic justice we have here, where he is, well, he doesn't know it yet that this is the fool he's talking to. He is saying that his intelligence, his senses are equal to that of Sir Topas. So he is declaring his equality with the person whose barren rascalhood was something of great disgust to him once upon a time. Okay, so this looks like a poetic justice, and things will get even worse for him after this. Just wait for it. Feste asks him a question. What is the opinion of Pythagoras concerning wild fowl? Pythagoras was not just a mathematician. He also had these theories about what happens to you after you die. All right, so he had this idea about the transformation of soul. So this was a Greek concept, because in Christians we have the concept that when you die, you go to your grave, you wait it out, and then doomsday comes, you are judged, you are sent to either hell or heaven. But this Pythagoras theory was that after we die, we get judged because of the actions we perform, and then we get reborn. Okay, sometimes as animals, sometimes as humans. Well, it's not always random. It follows certain code of justice. Okay, so that was Pythagoras. So Feste is asking Malvolio what he thinks about Pythagoras. Now Malvolio, we know, is a Puritan Christian. Being a Puritan Christian, he has to believe in the things that Christians believe in. that after you die, you wait till doomsday for judgment. You don't become, something else. Okay, you don't get reborn. Malvolio thinks low of Pythagoras. He says that the soul of our grandam might happily inhabit a bird, that according to Pythagoras, if my grandmother had died, it could be that she'd be born as a wildfowl. Wildfowl means a bird. What thinkest thou of his opinion? Okay, so this is Pythagoras. Yes, that your grandmother after a death can transform into a bird, can get reborn as a bird. So what is your opinion on Pythagoras? I think nobly of the soul and in no way approve his opinion. Malvolio, being a Christian, he thinks that no, human soul is too elevated to be, put inside the body of a bird or an animal. So he thinks that Pythagoras has not given any valid argument. His theory is utter nonsense. Now, the thing is that Feste has gone there to make fun of Malvolio. So, no matter what Malvolio said, Feste would have turned against him. What does Feste say? Fare thee well, remain thou still in darkness. Feste says that Pythagoras was a very educated man. If you don't believe him, then you are ignorant. So, you just stay there where you are. Thou shalt hold the opinion of Pythagoras, or I will allow of thy wits. So, I will not consider you a sane man unless you say that Pythagoras was right, and fear to kill a woodcock, lest thou dispossess the soul of thy grandam. And if you believe in Pythagoras, then you should be afraid to kill a bird, woodcock here. Why? Because if you believe in Pythagoras, then that bird might contain the soul of your dead grandmother. Fare thee well. So, what we gather from here is that Feste is simply making fun of Malvolio. Malvolio is very concerned. Sir Topas, Sir Topas. Toby is very happy at the performance of the fool, and he says, my most exquisite Sir Topas. I am for all waters. I am ready for anything. So, this is where they are talking to each other on the lighted part of the stage. Malvolio is in darkness. He at this moment cannot hear what they are saying. Maybe if you are the stage director, you would switch off the light of Malvolio as if he doesn't exist as for now. Okay. So, Maria, Toby, Feste, they have come away, a little bit away from the place where Malvolio can hear them, and they are speaking to each other, and Toby is appreciating whatever Feste has done. Now Maria speaks. Thou mightst have done this without thy beard and gown. So, I gave you a costume, you wore it, but it was not necessary because Malvolio could not see you. So, why do you think he was wearing this gown? Well, for us. For one thing, if the clown is wearing the dress of the clown, then we will have to remember that this is Sir Topas. But if he is wearing the dress of the priest, then we will know that why he is speaking like this, that he is acting a part. The more important thing is that Shakespeare was writing at a time or directing at a time when, I don't know, people were sensitive about religion, yes, but there was a certain kind of healthy acceptance. Whatever is happening in this country right now, I don't want to be very controversial here, but yes, we are seeing a complete lack of acceptance, tolerance. We don't believe in things like satire anymore. And here we are seeing a man wearing the robes of a priest and saying that these are the robes in which people cheat other people. And it was accepted. This was accepted as comedy. and we say we have progressed. Anyway, Maria says you didn't have to wear these costumes. He sees you not. Sir Toby now gives a different set of instructions. He wants Feste to go and talk to Malvolio now using his own voice as Feste. To him in thine own voice, and bring me word how thou findest him. So you have been to him as a priest and you have played with his emotions. He is probably broken down now. So go as Feste and see how much damage we have caused, how he is doing now. Why is he himself not going? Well, he gives the reason here. I would we were well rid of this knavery. He's kind of a little bit scared of this whole thing. He doesn't want to continue this joke anymore, mainly because he thinks that his niece, Olivia, is not taking his actions in a positive way or is going to be really causing a lot of trouble to him. So he wants to end this, okay? If he may be conveniently delivered, I would he were, for I am now so far in offence with my niece. My niece is not very pleased with me. We have seen that there was argument. Olivia was pretty angry with Toby because he was hitting Sebastian, but she thought he was hitting Cesario. So it was very bad on his part. He looked bad. So he cannot risk making her more angry. So he says that I cannot pursue with any safety this sport to the upshot. I cannot just take this joke to the climax because I cannot risk further displeasure from my niece because he depends on her. Okay. Come by and by to my chamber. So he goes away with Maria. Feste is left alone on stage and he is now approaching Malvolio's chamber in a jovial way. Now he is not Sir Topas. He is singing, "Hey Robin, jolly Robin, tell me how thy lady does." Malvolio suddenly realizes that the fool is coming. "Fool," he is going on singing. "My lady is unkind, buddy." "Fool." "Alas, why is she so?" "Fool, I say." "She loves another." "Who calls?" As if he was singing and he was interrupted. So he's asking, who is calling? Malvolio, who was begging to the priest earlier, is now begging to the fool. Good fool, imagined. Same Malvolio who had called Feste a barren rascal. He is now using the expression good fool. Good fool, as ever thou wilt deserve well at my hand, help me to a candle and pen, ink and paper. He wants to write a letter, but he doesn't have the things, so he wants these things. As I am a gentleman, I will live to be thankful to thee for it. I will be forever grateful. Please give me these things. Master Malvolio, as if he doesn't know Malvolio is in this confinement. I, good fool. So as if, yes, I'm here. Alas, sir, how fell you besides your 5 wits? Why are you tied like a madman? Fool, there was never man so notoriously abused. He is repeating whatever he has said to Sir Topas, he is repeating to the fool. I am as well in my wits, fool, as thou art. See what he says here. Earlier he had said to Sir Topas that I am as mad as you are, which means I am as sane, as normal as you are. That was okay. He was thinking that he is talking to a priest. Now he is ready to say that I have as much intelligence as the fool, as if the fool has accepted level of intelligence. Earlier he did not think that the fool is acceptable. Now he is saying he is equal to the fool. That's a fall here. But as well, then you are mad indeed. If you are equal to a fool, then of course you are not normal. If you be no better in your wits than a fool. They have here propertied me, they have captured me, keep me in darkness and send ministers to me. Ministers means these priests, usually priests, when they come to, cure a person who is possessed by the demon. It is called ministering, okay. So he's saying that they have brought ministers to cure me. Okay, that's terrible. Asses. So he is calling Sir Topas an ass. And do all they can to face me out of my wits. And whatever they are saying, coming here, these ministers, that is turning me mad. Advise you what you say. The minister is here. Oh, that priest, the priest is here. See, Malvolio cannot see Feste. He cannot see that there is only one man standing. Feste, who had earlier acted the part of Sir Topas, is now going to speak to Malvolio using two voices, as if Sir Topas is talking to the fool. Okay, both the voices will be made by Feste, but Malvolio will feel as if two people are talking, and just now he has called Sir Topas an ass, a donkey, and therefore he feels that, oh God, the priest is here. Has he heard what I've told about him? That is his reaction. Now Feste is talking as Sir Topas. Malvolio, Malvolio, thy wits the heavens restore, endeavour thyself to sleep, have some sleep, and leave thy vain babble. Stop talking nonsense, go to sleep. Sir Topas, so he is again scared that okay, he has heard me. Now the clown will speak as if Topas is advising him, okay? Maintain no words with him, good fellow. Who, I, sir? Not I, sir. Goodbye, you. Good Sir Topas. Marry. Amen. I will, sir. I will. Malvolio doesn't know if Sir Topas is gone. Okay, so he's asking. Fool, 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 I say. Alas, sir, be patient. What say you, sir? I am shed for speaking to you. See, I was talking to you and Sir Topas, he scolded me. Good fool, help me to some light and some paper. Why does he want to write something? He wants to write to Olivia, to explain to her what has happened. I tell thee, I am as well in my wits as any man in Illyria. Ouch, any man in Illyria. We haven't seen any man in Illyria in very good sense, have we? We have seen Andrew Aguchi. We have seen, well, Toby is in sense, but is mostly drunk. Sebastian, he is not from Illyria. Orsino, really? So, what examples we have of men from Illyria? Not very encouraging, except Feste, of course. So, he is saying that he is in his wits as any man in Illyria. Well a day that you wear, sir, of course. By this hand, I am, good fool, some ink, paper and light, and convey what I will set down to my lady. I will write some things down. Please, please give it to my lady. It shall advantage thee more than ever the bearing of letter did. You know, when you bear a letter to somebody, you get some payment, but you will get way more payments than what a, messenger gets. I will help you to it, but tell me true, are you not mad indeed? Or do you but counterfeit? Very important question. He's asking, are you sure? You're not mad? You're not acting to be a sane man? Believe me, I'm not. I tell thee true. Nay, I'll never believe a madman till I see his brains. I will fetch you light and paper and ink. Okay, I'll get you whatever you wanted. And brains here, of course, means the words he will write. So once he writes a letter, well, then reading the letter, he can understand if the writer is a madman or not. Fool, I'll requite it in the highest degree. I prithee, be gone. Please, please, get me those things. The clown leaves singing. And what does he sing? I don't know what tune it was, but this is so musical. Okay, so the clown exits singing something like, I'm gone, sir, and an answer, I'll be with you again in a trice, led to the old vice, your need to sustain. So he decides to go and help him out, his need to sustain, and he is going singing, and Malvolio is in a dark room, and Malvolio, his temperament is so bitter most of the time, like all the time. He is thinking that my well-being, my rescue depends on this flippant guy who takes everything so lightly. And the last stanza, who with dagger of wrath in his rage and his wrath cries aha to the devil, like a mad lad, bear thy nails, dad, adieu, goodman, devil. Goodman, devil, I don't know. This man has this peculiar tendency to bring contrasting words together, hit them hard to create emphasis. He wants to help Malvolio. What do you make of Feste? What kind of a man is he? He shows compassion, yes, not before he has his revenge. Because when Malvolio was calling himself equal to him in the first place, it was when he was acting like a priest. So that was not something that made him feel that good. When Malvolio equates himself to the fool as the fool, it is then that Feste feels really good about it. It's like mission accomplished. He also wants this joke to end, and of course he'll get that paper and pen and ink and light to Malvolio, because that will lead to the final resolution. The subplot kind of ends here, although some little bits of threads will be woven at the end. Malvolio and Feste, they represent two completely different worldview, two completely different attitude to life. When you look at Malvolio, you see self-centered, selfish, hankering for position, power. There is greed in Feste too. He's greedy for those odd bits of coins he gets. But there is a kind of humanity in Feste which is so absent in Malvolio. In Feste, we have the wisdom of survival and at the same time being happy with survival, because surviving alone is not okay. Malvolio is miserable because he doesn't know how to live in the moment. Feste knows. And through Feste, Shakespeare teaches us that the beauty of life is in this moment that you have with you. And that is probably the message of Twelfth Night too. That when you have the 13th night in front of you, the night when there will be no more festivities, this is the last night, the 12th night, you have to be like Feste. You cannot be like Malvolio. Because life is too short to become like Malvolio. Okay, so yes, Malvolio is treated in a very bad way, fine, but something is there in him that makes us feel that it's all justified, serves him right. After all, this is not a tragedy. His limitations, his weaknesses are brought in front of us. We are laughing at them. But unless and until he accepts them as limitations, he cannot come back to the fold of society. So his lack of acceptance is something which will make us feel that no, he deserves this. He is going on saying that he's abused, he's abused, he's abused. He is not thinking why. Alright, so with this we end this scene, and in the next scene we will just have a couple of speeches. So it's going to be a very short video, and finally we will reach the crescendo, the final act, which has only one scene. Okay, so 2 more videos left for us to complete 12th night. Congratulations, you have almost completed the whole play. Thanks for being with me. It has been a great journey. I look forward to see you all in the upcoming pair of videos, which will conclude our series, and then we will take up the themes, the characters in individual videos if you want them. So better get subscribed, because then you won't miss any notifications. And yes, there is a notification bell icon. You all know more than me how to click that and get notified every time a new video comes up from our end. As the semester exams are coming up, all the best to you. Keep studying, stay subscribed. This is Monami Mukherjee signing off. Bye-bye.